Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Animaking 3. And as I said, new what ifs are coming up soon and yeah. So strap in and sit back and relax. Because here I'm going to give you part 1 of What If Naruto Fuse with Minato, Kushina and Kurama guys. If you enjoy seeing want to see part 2, just comment down below and tell me you want to see part 2 and I'll be posting it as soon as possible for you guys to enjoy. And also, go ahead and check out the final episode of What If Naruto was created by the Otsutsuki clan on this channel, guys, and enjoy that. And also, over in the making 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was an outcast Uchiha in the time of the Sanins, so go ahead and check it out and enjoy. And also remember, if you're new in this first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah. Without further ado, what do you say we just leap right into this new episode? Begin the intro, guys. It all happened so quickly. Everything was like a blur. One moment he was on the bridge, helping Sasuke fight Haku, but at the time he did not know it was actually Haku under that mask. Until Sasuke jumped in the way and got turned into a porcupine because of him. Why? He asks. Sasuke then proceeded to list off the reasons why. Mainly, he focused on his body just move on its own to protect him. As his speech got Naruto angry, as he'd watch his friend die in his arms. At first it was always insults, always yelling at one another, well, most of him doing the yelling, but as he watches his friend die in his arms, something inside him snapped. He attacked Haku with a new fury than before. But before he could deliver the final blow though, the mask shattered, and he paused. He had just undertaken his first shot of the Kyuubi's chakra, and it took a strain on his body. Maybe that was the reason, or maybe the wetness of the bridge. When Haku had tried to flee, he grabbed onto him, stopping him from doing so. He was still angry, but when he caught sight of Sasuke once again, his anger seemed to just tripled. Haku refused to let Naruto hold on to him though. Zabuza was in danger. A quick ice mirror and throwing Naruto right through it. Naruto found himself on the other side of the bridge, right at the edge. A single misstep, that was all it took. His eyes went wide, but Haku did not turn back. He rushed to save his master, only for himself to get impaled as Kakashi Shidori teared through his chest. But for Naruto, he fell. Sakura had moved forward their kunai. She saw Naruto first before she saw Sasuke. His eyes widened as he was falling. "Naruto!" she cried out. But as she rushed towards the edge, he dropped into the massive, rushing ocean down below. She screamed, her eyes going wide in shock. There was a reason why the bridge was so large. The water down below was nothing normal. You would need a boat, or probably a sizable ship. The water down there was terrible. Naruto gasped as his head was brought back to the surface, but his body was yanked underneath. The violent toss and pull, it was too much for him. His young frame, as he struggled to stay on top. He couldn't even water walk. He couldn't do that yet. He tried to get up, but the water pulled him down and threw him, as the violent pullings pulled him underneath the ground. He was tossed from left to right until his head hit upon a sizable rock jutted out of the ground. The force that impacted his head knocked him out cold. His body was thrown and flinged around all over. At the bottom, back on the bridge, Kakashi heard the cry of Sakura as he figured something was wrong, but the hunter Nin was right here. Ripping out his hand, Kakashi wasted no time. Zabuza was still stuck, the dogs biting into his flesh. Although, because of the slack movement and Haku jumping in the way, he was able to grip his blade. As he brought it down, Kakashi used electricity as he slammed the hand right into the blade of Zabuza, knocking to the side. The fearsome swordsman's eyes widened as he saw Kakashi pull a kunai. The grip tightened as he drove it forward. That was the last thing that he saw. Kakashi, although tired, rushed back to where the others were as quickly as possible. When he arrived, he saw Sakura on her knees, looking over the edge of the bridge. "Sakura, what's wrong?" he said. As he looked around, the first thing he noticed was Sasuke on the ground, as there was needles coming out of all over his body. Kakashi rushed over and checked him. He was still alive, just unconscious. He looked around though. Where was he? No. He rushed towards Sakura as he looked over the edge, realizing what happened. As he looked towards the crying girl, before anything else could be done though. Well, said a voice. Meanwhile, Kurama, that was his name. The mightiest beast to ever roam the land. Well, there was one other, but that was no longer here. But he was the Nine Tails, the mightiest Biju. No one could stand in his path. He could crush mountains. He could decimate valleys. He could carve holes in the earth. He could split villages. But here he was, stuck. Stuck like some child. Kurama could feel it, because of the stupid seal that was placed on him by death itself. If he were to have the child outside die, he would die as well. The link was too strong, and not to mention he was not able to reform himself with his other half sealed away in the goddamn Shinigami. For Tokage, he cursed. That man, he was the one responsible for this. The place started to get dark as he banged against the cage. That is when he heard something like fire. As he turned to see the seal, the paper tag burning away. As the place started to get even more darker and darker, the child was dying. What's going on? A voice said. As he looked down, what he saw surprised him. It was his former container. That woman. Kushina? That voice irritated Kurama to no end. His teeth bare. For Tokage, he yelled. Minato looked up towards the giant fox. Kushina! He said, ignoring the fox. Minato? What's going on? It's Naruto, said Minato. Kushina's eyes became teary instantly. No, she begged. Please don't tell me. What I think is happening, she said. The man had a broken look on his face. The place was getting weaker away. The darkness was encroaching. The both of them had no choice but to step to the bar. And the angry fox. This is your fault now. I will die along with this accursed child. Kurama roared. But neither mother or father was paying attention to him at the moment. As Minato held on to his sobbing wife. They would never get to meet their son again. Everything was rotting away. But Kurama, pissed off at the whole situation and the two down there that was ignoring him, he let out a mighty roar and expended his chakra to the absolute limit. As the darkness encroached, Kurama's chakra collided with the bars. Everything exploded. The parent's chakra got swallowed as well. The darkness and Kurama's chakra clashed before it seemed to just swallow upon one another and release a cataclysmic explosion into the empty void of the Mindscape. Timeskip. The place was calm. The rivers were deep. Most boats or ships didn't come out here. It was too deep and shallow. Suddenly, the water started to bubble. It started to bubble so much steam started to emerge. It was then that the water exploded outwards. A gaping massive hole that you could see the ocean floor, only for something just shot out of it. A red cloak The figure could not be seen that well as the thing was shot forward. The thing skipped across the ocean. Whatever it was definitely not conscious. The chakra around it blowing apart the ocean as the water was sent up in the air to the side. As the chakra was just being released in a wild explosion that was just throwing everything around. Luckily though, it blew whatever it was straight towards the coast. As the thing came to a stop as it crashed hard, creating a massive explosion when it hit the sandy ground. As it just lay there, still unconscious, the red chakra, it turned the sand around it into glass, showing the heat and ferociousness of the chakra. Whatever it was though, it was definitely human. A few minutes later, over here, Misama, I've always said, I can see it. It's a man. A man with blue hair, an eye patch over his eye. He was wearing a green robe with a brown shirt underneath, piercings on his ears. He was wearing the headband for Kiri. Beside him was an elegant woman. She was stunning from head to toe. Brown reddish hair, as the bangs came down her face, exposing only one green eye, as she was wearing a blue dress with a slit to show off her leg. She was wearing high thigh boots and mesh going up with a dark blue shorts underneath that fit together rather perfectly. Mei Terumi was the leader of the rebellion faction in Kiri. Kiri was at the moment enthralled in a massive civil war that has been racking them for some time now, against their tyrant, Yagra, who wanted to see nothing than all the bloodline users be wiped off the face of the earth. They were just coming back from another outpost when Ao's senses picked up something powerful. He used his Byakugan to find what it was, and then they found a man on the shore. Getting closer though, it wasn't a man but a teenager. Mei came over. Be careful, Misama, Ao said to caution, because what he was seeing frightened him. What's wrong, she said. His chakra. It's so strange. It's like there's no end to it. At the same time, it's moving all around his body. And there's also three different sources. Mei looked towards him confused. What do you mean? I am not sure, Mei-sama. I've never seen anything like this before. As the man was visibly confused, Mei walked over. Mei-sama, he said. It will be alright, she said. He's unconscious. Just in case, so she used her feet to flip him over. And what she saw surprised her. He looked to be around 16, 17, she didn't know. He had crimson hair. However, there was two blonde bangs coming down his face. Upon flipping it over, his mouth was open as she saw he had two sharp fangs, almost like an animal. He wasn't wearing a shirt, or if he was, it was ripped off him in a violent way, seeing it tattered on his arm. His pants looked like they got shrunk as they came up to his knees. Orange pants. He had nothing on him, no headband, nothing else. But his body, it seemed like it was chiseled from literal stone. He had a well-firmed six-pack, well-permed pecs, and his arms were muscular but not too muscular, fitting for a shinobi that was meant for speed and also strength as well. Something like that was rare in the shinobi world when the person wasn't someone famous. And he looked incredibly cool. Mei reached out to touch him, but steam started to come from him as Ao stepped towards her instantly to protect her with his life. What's going on, she said, as he was on the Byakugan. His body, it's warming itself up. She was more confused by this strange person. Ao, we're taking him back. He looked towards her. But, Mei-sama, what if this is some sort of trap? He's unconscious. We will seal his chakra away and confine him until we find out who exactly is he. Because this young man is not normal. I just know it, she said. She didn't know what it was about him, but something was telling her to just take him with them. Ayo was cautious, but she was also the leader. And he has trusted her instinct this far. It has brought them to where they are. It has kept them alive. As he nodded to her. Time skip. At the Hidden Leaf. Sitting in his office. Sir Toby Harrison was just sitting there. As he just sat there. His eyes not wandering or anything, he just sat there. A miserable look on his face. His anger had been justified. At first, he raged at Kakashi. The man had taken his team on a C-rank mission. Despite knowing that the claims were false, he still continued with it. But Kakashi did send note back to the village. Harrison had planned to send a squad out there as well, but they had arrived late. At the time when Gato and his men arrived, Gato and his men did not stand a chance against the other squad that came to aid Team 7. But if they had arrived time before that, the team would have been able to. As Harrison lowered his head, the look on Kakashi's face just by that one visible eye showed Harrison how broken the man felt. Once again, he lost someone under his charge. Just like back in the war, he lost everything and now he lost the last remainder that linked him to his sensei. As Harrison kept himself, he kept himself still and calm. There was no possible way, Jinchuriki or not, that Naruto could have survived that. He was just not physically able to. If he was older, maybe there was a chance, but no, there was not. The mission was completed, but they lost someone. Someone very precious. Harrison glanced towards the photo, but he could not even face the photograph. How could he? He remembered the woman's dying breath. He gave her his word. But what did his word mean? So young. To have shinobis die so young was things that were never liked at all, but Naruto was no mere shinobi. He was special. Who Harrison saw one day taking his seat, becoming his successor. Maybe down the road a bit, maybe, as a 5th or 6th, but still. He was now gone. He would never have him barged in his office once again, calling him Gigi. As Harrison wiped the tear from his eye, lowering his head. Meanwhile, Kakashi Hatake stood at the memorial stone. Another fallen shinobi name had been etched into the stone. Kakashi felt pathetic. No, he truly felt pathetic. He felt broken. Once again he lost someone dear to him. The last shred that he had to his sensei was cut. That thread was cut. It was no longer there. The smiling glue, the bonding of their team, it always resided on that child. He was just a glue that made them all perfect. But now he was gone. Dead. And that was because he could not hack it as a Jonin sensei. The man did not move or cried, he just stood there. Meanwhile, Sakura Haruna was in her house, locked in her room. Damn it. Why was she feeling this way? She didn't know why. Naruto was just a fool. He was an idiot who always asked her out on dates. Yes, he was. And she always turned him down. She always pushed him aside. Sasuke was a better man after all. But Sasuke never paid her any attention though. But she still tried. Naruto was a teammate. She called him idiot, a fool so much time. She punched him so much time, but yet, he was always there. But now he was dead. How? No, that, it just couldn't be possible. How could he die? He was always the one shouting about being Hokage. That he would never die until he became Hokage. He was the one that raged on that they will see him as the Hokage one day. But how could he die? She lowered her head, tears leaking from her eyes. How could he just die like that? He was her teammate. No, he was a friend. Meanwhile, Sasuke Uchiha sat on his bed. His face was blank, no emotion on it. As Sasuke Uchiha just sat there. He has been quiet ever since he found out about the news that Naruto was dead. He has not really spoken or said anything to anyone. In fact, he's just been quiet, which he will remain for a while, as he didn't look like he was about to speak to anyone anytime soon. As he just sat on his bed, his mind rushing through thoughts, though a lot of them. Time skip. A small child made her way. As she made her way towards her sister's room, as she heard crying, Big sister, are you okay? As she poked in her head, she saw her sister at the foot of the bed, her nails curled up to her chest, as she was crying. The small child walked in. As she climbed up on the bed, she didn't know why her sister was crying, but she hugged her. Despite feeling the touch and knowing that she was there, Hinata Hyuga didn't stop crying, as she just found out the news that he was dead. As she just couldn't stop. It couldn't be possible. He promised that he would become Hokage, that he would not die, and nothing would stop him. But now, as she cried to herself, her sister hand be holding on to her, comforting her big sister. Slowly but surely, the news started to spread around the village that Naruto was dead. Many of the people that hated him since he was younger, because of what he held, did not really care one bit. But those that knew him and cared for him, they couldn't believe it, that Naruto was actually dead. This shocked all of those who attend his class, all of those that graduate with him as his friends, Team Kernite, Team Asuma, all of them. It made them realize their own mortality, that they could die anytime on one of these missions. If Naruto of all person was now dead, the one that always declared that he would never die until he became Hokage was just gone. Ayame and Tuki were rather sad. The blonde was their favorite customer out of everyone else, and now they would never see him again. But for most, they understood that was the life of a ninja. Naruto Uzumaki was dead. Time skip. Jiraiya of the Sannin was currently by himself when he received a message. As this seemed like something was up, the message that came to him, as he knew that the old man would not send anything unless it was serious. What Jiraiya read though? The man dropped the letter to the ground. As he stood there, No, he said to himself, It can't be. As he made his way towards a hidden leaf, it just can't be. There's no way. He refused to believe it. Meanwhile, at the rebel camp. The rebel camp was a distance away from the actual village of Kiri. There was countless islands surrounding Kiri. The rebel camp was on one of those islands. Kiri was currently fortified, the Mizukage not letting any one of those rebel in to cause any problems. The village was not in a declining state or anything. The village was still doing missions, still trading goods at a different section, because if they were choose to go beyond, well, the rebels would stop them and, well, just destroy everything to make sure that they were causing Yagura as much problem as he was causing them. They really wanted that man out. That man has done so much, he deserved to die. For all what he did, for all those he killed. He was not a good man, he was a wicked dictator who was killing off the rebels, one after another. While their plan was great and their strategy was good, they just lacked the manpower and the forces that Yagura had at his command, not to mention his elite shinobis that surrounded him at all times to protect him no matter what. That was their main problem. They couldn't get past that. But Yagra though, he think of them as an insult. He wanted to wipe them off the face of the earth. To think they had enough strength to stand up to him. Him of all people. Not only was he a Kaji, he was a goddamn Jinjulke who had power over his beasts. He would smash them all under his might. At the moment though, in the rebel camp, under strict security was a new man that arrived. Most did not know who it was, but they had saw glimpses of the man being brought in. Two members stood in the room. One of them being around 5'9". He had dark hair and blue eyes that seemed rather piercing and serious as well. He has been through a civil war for a long time now. His partner over to the other side. He had blue hair but he had dark eyes. His hair was a dull blue. The look on his face showed that he has also been through a lot. The one with the dull blue hair spoke. "Hey Koshi, who do you think this guy is anyway?" "How the hell should I know, Sato?" said Koshi. "Hey, I'm just asking. I mean, we were placed here to watch this guy, but we still have no idea who he is. I still don't understand why they placed us here. I mean, look at that seal over his body. Not that we rebels are any seal expert or anything, but I doubt he could break those seal. With the time and the effort that we put into it, it's not like he has ungodly powers or anything. So I'm not really sure what's the big deal. And also the cuffs. The suppressing cuffs. I heard he has a lot of chakra," Sato said. "Perhaps, but it's still. It's a waste of our time. He won't be able to break out of that no matter what. They should just take us off duty already. I mean, I have things to do. Place to be. Girls to be with." "Huh. And which girl is that?" Sato asked, as Koshi glared at him. It was then that he heard a hissing sound. "What the hell?" said Sato as he saw. The sealing marks on the guy started to burn away by red flames. Both men were so shocked, confused. How the hell was the sealing being burned away? That seal should be able to hold any normal man, even with advanced and large chakra pools. However, they underestimate how normal this person was because when it comes towards chakra and power, well, you have to have a larger seal to hold him back. They were about to shout out until his eyes snapped open, catching them by surprise. His eyes were peculiar. They were crimson. However, they had blue mixed into it. It seems that the two things were clashing together, giving him a strange, rare look. His eyes focused on the two people. He seemed confused. He yanked his hand so hard that the cuffs shattered. As he got to his feet, Sato moved forward to incapacitate him. As he launched out a strike, the man ducked. As he seemed surprised by his movements, before he lashed out a hand, Sato saw it coming though as he knocked the hand down. However, the man flipped and brought his leg around. Sato was shocked by the action, not fast enough. The man's feet crashed into the top of his skull, slamming his head into the ground. Koshi was holding on to a staff, twirling towards the man's head, but the man split and dropped towards the ground. He then brought his foot around and kicked away Koshi's leg, before he proceeded to slam a heel into Koshi's chest, blasting him right through the taint. The man then leaped out. The moment he did, he was surrounded. People all around came to a stop as they saw him, a frantic look on his face, his eyes scanning everywhere in shock and confusion. Several ninjas moved towards him. As he growled angrily, he looked at them, his eyes looking rather furious and confused as well, before he rushed towards him like a wild animal. Ninjas were thrown and battered out of his way like they were nothing. As he just ran, he ran for his life. Confused, not knowing what was going on, he just ran. That was until he found himself cut off though. As the first thing he noticed was the green eye, the band covering the rest of her face. Two ninjas on her side, as he found himself surrounded on each side. "I'm afraid I can't let you leave," the luscious voice of May said. "Get out off my way, he yelled. Me and the others were shocked when a simple yell caused a violent uproar. The ninjas had to leap away. It was like his voice was charged with untapped amount of power. He then ran, but May jumped in front of him as she saw it. He was not attacking them, he was confused. She raised a hand. Calm down, she said, but he leaped with a punch, forcing her to jump back. Ayo shot forward as he tried to incapacitate him, but the ninja flipped out of the way and landed. He then ducked under a strike and grabbed the arm and twisted the person before he body slammed them, breaking the ground. He then tilted his head, backed up the hand to his side, and kneed the person right in the stomach. The moment he spun around, before he flipped and used the person's body as a springboard to leap. As he jumped towards the top of the tent and leaped off, May rushed after him rather quickly. Wait, she yelled towards him. But he was not listening. She flashed through hand sign. Earth style, she said. Earth wall as she slammed her hand down, creating a massive earth wall in front of him. She didn't want to use any of her more deadly techniques. She might just end up melting him. Seeing the wall in front of him though, he did not stop. Instead, he bulldozed right through it, shocking me. What the hell? She chased after him though, as she rushed straight to where he came towards the end, before he leaped into the sea. Wait! It was at that moment he hesitated as he looked towards the water. He stepped away from it, as he gripped his head as he started to scream in pain. As he remembered drowning, he started to howl out as he collapsed on his butt, crawling away from the water in fright. He turned as he saw May with her few shinobis. Stay back, she said, stopping them, but May-sama. I said stay back, she yelled, her voice commanding her ninjas. As they nodded, this situation was clearly frightening him. He didn't know who he was, and if they were to frighten him right now, he would lash out. From what she saw a moment ago, he was trained, and heavily so, if he could take down some of her best ninjas that easily. But he also seemed confused as hell. As he turned towards her, I'm not gonna hurt you, she said. I promise. Why should I trust you? Well, for one thing, I was the one that found you, she said. And I brought you here. I found you on the shore. Will you tell me who you are? She asked him. I don't know. You don't know who you are? My name. It's Naruto. Alright, Naruto. Who are you? She said. He gripped his head as he winced in pain. Alright, she said. You don't have to push yourself. It seems you're not remembering everything correctly. But at least we got your name. It's alright, Naruto, look. I mean you no harm. Everything's gonna be fine. I just need you to calm down. As Naruto looked behind her as he saw one of the shinobis grab a kunai as he growled a bit. It's gonna be alright, she said. They're not gonna harm you. Trust me. I promise. I won't let any of them harm you, she said, as she gave him a smile. He then looked up towards her face. Who am I? He said, in a pleading tone. He just looked so confused. So, as he fell, he just collapsed unconscious. May checked his pulse. He was still alive, but his chakra was behaving strangely. She could feel it. Even though she was in a sensor, it was getting jumpy and twirling around all over his body. It was like it was unaware of the body that it was in. It was slowly settling down, but for now it was wild, unpredictable, and jumping. Time skip. He was drowning. He clutched, he clawed, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not get out. He clawed, he clutched, but he just would not get out. Damn it, he was dying. Someone, he screamed. Someone. Naruto jumped up, panting a bit as he looked around. As he was in some strange room, someone was in front of him. They were sitting by a desk. Their back was turned. He noticed the brownish reddish hair. That woman. It was her. The one from before, the one that told him that he could trust her. He slowly got to his feet, unsure if he could. That was when he noticed the seals on the ground. A simple barrier seal, stopping him from rushing right through. He can easily deactivate them by wait. How did he know that? Who was he? Why did he know all of this? Ah, you're weak. He looked up towards her face, but he then glanced down towards the seal. I see you noticed the seal. You told me to trust you yet. You're imprisoning me, he said. I'm sorry, but it's merely a precaution. The last time you woke up, you roughed up my shinobis rather well. I'm sorry, he said. Oh, it's alright, she said to him. You were just out of it, I presume. Yeah, he says. He gripped his head. Yeah. Now that you're in a proper state of mind, would you mind telling me who you are? I don't know, he said to her. My name is Naruto. I have knowledge in my head that I'm not sure how I got them, but I don't know the rest. As he looked at his hands, confused. I also know that he reached up and bit his finger. May watched him as he started to write something on the ground. What are you doing? She watched as he used his blood to infuse chakra into it. The marking that he wrote, he went through hands and slammed his hand down. The marking went toward the ceiling tags and burned them out. May was startled. How did you... I don't know. She looked at him cautiously. She wouldn't just go out and trust him already, as she didn't know if this was a lie or an act. He broke the seal so easily. From what she saw him do outside, he was trained and he was skilled. She prepared herself, and he noticed a slight twitch. You're upset. She narrowed her gaze. You think I will attack? I noticed the movements, the tenseness of your body. You're ready to defend yourself if need be. Well, you can't be surprised at someone for being cautious. In this ninja world, she said. I suppose you're right, but I mean you no harm. I'm judging that my actions from earlier didn't show that well, but still. I was confused, as you said. I don't know who I am. Why do I remember my name only? And why can I do that what I just did? As he sat down on the bed that he was lying on. I don't know what is going on. Please, can you help me, he said. She looked at him. She could sense no line. Either he was a really skilled liar, or there was something else. As he looked at his hands, why do I feel so? She gripped onto his hand to stop him from falling down. You feel tired, she said. Your chakra. I'm not sure what is happening at the moment to your chakra, but it's circulating through your body at a strange rate that I've never seen before. You have been slipping in and out of consciousness for the past 2 hours. This is a first that you have remained conscious for so long. But I doubt you will. He collapsed. Stay awake for longer. Ayo then walked into the room. Was he lying? She asked. Is Byakuna's activated? I sense no lie from him. Just plain confusion. The Hyugas were known to be living lie detectors. Their eyes could scan anyone to make sure that their chakra, their facial movement was keeping calm, that they were not telling a lie. And Ayo got nothing at all. He could be tricking me. Because his chakra is erratic. I wouldn't know if his chakra was a tell, but his facial features just show plain confusion. So I'm not really sure, Ayo said. Yeah, me neither. This could be a ploy by Yagura to finally get me out. To finally stop the rebellion. But there's just something about him I don't understand, said Ayo. He makes me want to believe that he's telling the truth. Like he's actually unaware of who he is exactly. But man, those moves that he used. He's a trained ninja. Yes, I know. I saw it for myself. A quite skilled one to be exact. And with the amount of chakra that you can see inside of him, he's not normal at all. We'll just have to keep an eye on him for now. We should just get rid of him, said Ayo. So we won't have to go through the hassle. No, she said. Ayo sighed. But ma'am, I said no. We will not get rid of him. Her gut was telling her that something was going on, and she should not kill him. There was just something that she needed to know. And she would not end his life. As she looked down towards him, once again he had fallen asleep. Time skip. This time he was not drowning. This time he was a mere spectator in the images that were playing in front of him. They did not feel like images. They felt like some kind of memory. But at the same time they felt like they were his, and at the same time they were not. It was all just so confusing. He was in the midst of a war. He was surrounded from all sides. And yet, he was not afraid. In fact, he felt calm. Calm despite the situation, like he was about to lay waste to all of these shinobis. His heart was steel as he reached and pulled up a strange weapon. It had 3 points. He proceeded to launch it around. The ninjas rushed in. They were clearly afraid, sweat on their faces, but they still rushed in. Orders might be. He then proceeded to move so fast. One after another he cut them down, like they were nothing. It just switched on him. The next thing he knew, he was in the midst of a brawl. 3 people backing him. Strange objects were pursuing out of his body. These objects were gold, linked together. Chains. He wrapped them around and threw them away, slamming them into objects. Once again it switched. He was roaring. His tails, wait. He had tails? His tails battered the land, causing shockwaves. Devastating powerful shockwaves. He held his head to the sky as he started to perform his most deadliest technique. A Biju bomb. Gathered that amount of chakra. He swallowed it before he released the power. The power was chaotic as he tore apart the surrounding land, destroying everything around him. It then switched once again. Remember, I will always be your father. A strange man with white hair, with Megatama markings on his clothing said. It then switched once again. You're gonna be Hokage? As that was just so blurry. Everything just switched around him before he woke up. His eyes opening, but this time he was not jumping up. What the hell was that? From the part with his tails, he could not really get through the rest of it. But why did he have tails? He reached down towards the bed searching, but there was nothing there. Of course he didn't have tails. He was a human. He understood what a bed was. He understood what everything else was. He was just not remembering much. It was like he was not one person. Why? It just didn't make any sense, but he knew that his name was Naruto. His last name was... He didn't know. Damn it. He sighed to himself as he pulled himself up in the bed, unaware of his current location. You're awake, a voice said. He slowly turned his head. A blue-haired boy was standing there, with glasses, and some strange object over his ears. He had a sword strapped to his back, with a black handle. He looked quite afraid. Really afraid. He looked shy. Who are you? I'm Kojiro. Where are we, Kojiro? Where? I don't know if I can tell you that. What do you mean you don't know if you can tell me that? As Naruto got to his feet, he looked around, scanning the place to see if there was any more seals. I was last watched. They said you wouldn't wake up. They will be right back. Who is they? I I don't know if I can tell you that either, he said. So you're not that useful then, said Naruto. Kojiro stepped back in fear. As Naruto calmed himself, why was he getting so angry? What was this rage? This sense of superiority inside of him? Like everything and everyone was beneath him. He felt engrossingly powerful, and it brought forward this dominance. He shook his head, his red hair sweeping from side to side. I apologize. I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, I'm not scared, said Kojiro. As Naruto chuckled. Could have fooled me. I'm not scared, Kojiro said. Naruto flashed in front of him. Kojiro dropped on his butt as he crawled away. As Naruto started to laugh. Sorry, but it was just too funny not to. As Naruto wondered if the two outside were gonna step in. There were two people there. However, they have not even made a move. They were most likely watching what he would do. Two other people arrived, as he spoke to the other two outside. Well, I say someone is in a better mood, said May. Kojiro, are you alright? She asked. He got to his feet rather quickly. Yes, I'm just fine, he said, with a small blush on his face. Alright then, she said. Now, Naruto. How are you feeling? She said. Better than before. But still, as he looked at his hands, I still don't feel perfect. Ayo narrowed his eyes as his Byakuno scanned over Naruto's body. His chakra still hasn't finished circulating yet. Why not? Said Naruto. How should I know? Said Ayo, if you don't know. Well, I guess you're right. As Naruto sighed to himself, he still had no idea what was going on, or who was he. He looked towards me. Have you found out who I am yet? He asked. Well, I tried, but I still have no clue. There has been nothing to show if you're from one of the great nations or smaller ones. However, from the way you fought, it shows that you're definitely not a civilian. Your chakra was a dead giveaway at that. But your style of fighting, although brief, I've never seen it before, so I'm not sure what it is. So you have nothing, basically, he said. Hey, watch your mouth, said Ayo. Don't go and disrespect. Naruto turned towards him. Naruto said nothing, but Ayo just stopped talking. It was a look in Naruto's eyes. Subconsciously, he released an intense dose of bloodlust that got Ayo stepping back in fear. As Naruto blinked. What was that? He said. Ayo was struggling to breathe, and yet Naruto didn't know what the hell was that. Mei looked towards Naruto, shocked. Just what in the world was this boy? She was not even the one that he directed the bloodlust towards, and yet it almost felt like she was face to face with a Biju. Like her very being, her very essence, was shaking in fear. As Naruto sat back down on the bed, I truly wish you no harm. If I continue to stay here, without knowing who I am or what I'm doing, I'll leave, he said as he got to his feet. I can't just let you go out there on your own, said Mei. As her mouth just spoke before she even thought. You don't even know who you are. Letting you go out there alone is just signing your death surfer ticket. Then what am I supposed to do? I'm not sure, she said. But you can wait and see if anything comes up regarding who you are. That's all I can offer. As Naruto knew that was the truth. As himself, he didn't really know what else he could do. As he didn't even know who he is. Only thing he remembered was his name, and he could do some strange things like break a Fuinjutsu barrier. And how the hell did he know what a Fuinjutsu barrier is? He knew some things that he should not. Or perhaps he should know them, he just didn't know. It was weird and so complicated. But most of all, it was just so confusing. Time skip. Mei sat down with Ayo and a few others. One of the men here had dark long hair, a scar on his cheek. He had piercing black eyes. His name was Jotaro. Of course we can't let him leave. If he were to tell the Mizukage where we're located at the moment, he will no doubt storm this place with his strongest troops. And then what will happen to us? I've already spoke to him on that, said May. He won't be leaving. She had worded it in a way to make Naruto think that he had the option, but the thing was he did not. She couldn't let him leave. He knew the whereabouts of their base. And if the Mizukage found out this whereabouts, they were done for. She didn't know why, but she felt like she could trust him. But the thing was, he could be captured and the information could be tortured out of him. Jotaro nodded at that, as he couldn't let him leave. You say he possessed great power, Ao, he said, looking towards the man. His chakra is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and it seems almost endless. It's recovering at an insane rate, circulating through his body. I'm surprised that he can even control that dense amount of chakra. I would be surprised if he can perform a simple C-rank jutsu. That chakra is just so much to handle in any situation. Maybe he can be an asset for us. Send him out on the field to take out some of the opposing forces. Are you crazy, said me. That would just get him killed. And a possibility of him getting captured. As I said, he's confused. He might know how to fight, but in a long drawn-out situation, he might stumble under the pressure. She's right. A woman said. She had green hair and dark green eyes as well. Her name was Maito, as she was listening so far. But me, what exactly would we do with him? He wants information, if he's telling the truth, which we still don't know yet. How will we give him to piece his efforts of not trying to leave this place? You have not restrained him. That goes to show that you trust him somewhat. Yes, I do, said me. Somewhat, as you said. So what then? What will we do with him? As of now, I'm not sure, but he's quite content in staying and not pushing the effort to just leave. He's not a bad person. So far, I've noticed that. But it can all just be a facade, that is why. I'm keeping him under watch to make sure what he said is true. The woman nodded very well. The man frowned though. This is not something that we need, especially in the times that we're in right now. As May had to agree to that. With the civil war going on, this was not the distraction they needed, but Naruto can prove himself to be a great ally. A great driving force if she were to convince him to stay here and help them out. As much as she have a little pity for him for not knowing who he is, she need to think about her people as well. Her people that she didn't want to lose. Because if they lose this civil war, they will all die. There was no question their Yagura would wipe them off the face of the map. The man was ruthless and cruel. He wanted all of them dead. Time skip. Its sensors had picked up something earlier. A large amount of chakra on the coast. But when they were sent out there to investigate, they found nothing behind. Maybe it was just a fluke, as some dangerous technique that the rebellion force was pushing. As he thought about those bastards once again and again they have proven to be quite resourceful, surviving his attacks. But soon he would bring them to their knees. Soon he would show them that their efforts were for naught, because he will demolish all of them. He refused to cower down. He refused to just lie down and watch as they do as they please. He will get rid of the rebellion forces if it was the last thing that he do. The rumors that came back to him from the information he was able to gather by spies that were unable to successfully get to the real base. But the rumors that there was a woman, the one in charge, her name was Mei Terumi. He knew exactly who she was. The Terumi family was a large family within Kirin. There wasn't much of them, but they possessed acid or lava bloodlines. Steam. But it turns out that Mei was able to wield her family dojutsu. Both of them. She was an incredible woman. It was a shame that she was born as an abomination with bloodline, and she must be purged from this earth. It has to be done. It was the only way to get rid of them all. His mind was set up, as he was firm in his beliefs. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Danzo Shimura was not a happy man. In fact, he was downright pissed off. He had tried to speak to Hiruzen regarding the matter of their lost Jinjulki, but Hiruzen had merely shushed him out of the office, saying that he didn't have time for him right now. But Konoha was now without their Jinjulki, and it was all Hiruzen's fault, because the child was too damn weak. If he wasn't weak and pathetic like that, maybe he would have survived. Maybe he would have still been here. And it was all Hiruzen's fault because he did not allow him to take the child and turn him into a true warrior. As that angered Danzo, and now he was acting like he was the one to blame here by shushing him away like he was not important. The council had met up today and spoke about this. Hiruzen really didn't seem like he was in the mood to speak to anyone about this. Downright like he just didn't care about the council meeting at the time. Well, he was close to the child, but still. He was nothing more than a shinobi for Konoha. His name will be put on the monument for his service, but still. What a life wasted so early. A complete waste, Danzo thought to himself. And all because of Hiruzen's weak, stupid, idiotic ways. Now they were without a Jinjulki. They have to get one. By any means necessary. Danzo knew that Hiruzen would not take the dangerous path. The risky path, that is why. He was the one that had to make the risky move. Before he did not try anything because they had a Jinjulki, even though he could get his hands on it. But now, he would have to do something risky. And he couldn't get caught otherwise. It would be quite problematic. But Konoha need that strength. It need an anchor to back themselves on. They still need the power from Biju. And he had to be the one to make the risky choice here. Not that fool Hiruzen. Meanwhile, as Naruto was still awake, he felt much calmer than before. Still not knowing who he was, it was infuriating. He knew that these people were tense, but the amount of eyes that were on him were crazy. He didn't know why, but the moment his hand made contact with any surface, he could spread his senses. He was a touch sensor, oh yeah. Wait, what the hell? Once again, memories that he didn't know how he had. What the hell is a touch sensor? It seems like he never knew what that was. But now he knew. He had to make physical contact with the surfaces to be able to sense out his opponents. But at the same time, that was not all. He was also a natural sensor as well. But that couldn't be possible. He could only be one. Once again, it made him thought that he was not one person. Like there were other people in his head. But there was nothing there. It was just him alone. And his thoughts. Thoughts that seemed to be not with him at the moment about who exactly he was. But for one thing though, he needed to find out who he was. Maybe the answers lie here. As he was now thinking about their headband. Their headband showed that they were from Kiri, the village hidden in the mist. As he thought about their Mizukage, black hair, his eyes looked like they were closed, scarf around his neck. Wait, no, that was the third. Who was it was going to be elected to be the fourth? As he remembered that here, it almost seemed grey. Pink eyes with a scar on his cheek going down. He was the apprentice of the third. He was next in line. His name was Yager. That was what he last remembered. But wait, how the hell did he know this? Something flashed across his memory as he was in an office sitting down. Rather young for a Kage, if I must say, he said to himself. Well, who am I to judge, he asked himself. As he looked towards the window, upon turning, Naruto saw flashes of blonde hair and he returned back to the present. Just what in the hell was that? He got to his feet. Was Yager the Mizukage? Just what in the world was going on, he thought. But guys, let me end episode right here. If you want to see the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to get posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, go ahead and check out What If Naruto was a Uchiha outcast in Time of the Sanins, and enjoy that, guys. And also, stick around for the rest of what ifs coming your way. I really hope that you guys enjoy each and every one of them. If you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels. Anime Making, Anime Making 2, and Making 3. Which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So stick around and enjoy, guys. So yeah, without further ado, I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.